Just can't do that. There's just no way.
So what is the game? Because I'm not sure who's who.
Okay, I'm Thomas, and I'm working on Booper Get Home, which is the little kid drawing game that was just on the screen.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see
And
that.
I'm Justin. I'm working on the Samurai Slaughterhouse, the bloody one.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, the black and white one. Yep.
Yeah.
And so I'm Cyril, and I'm working on Shock Troops.
Oh, nice to meet you.
I'm easy to recognize because I have a very heavy Texan accent.
Yeah, Texas. Yeah, I see that.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. I'm from Texas, baby. America. Uh-huh.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, I was hoping to start off the episode with you and Dima's little bout against Georgia. What's going on?
Oh shit! He's complaining. Listen, I walk about 7 miles every day. I live right next to a park, and so I do laps around the park. And I was actually paying attention. I was like sniffing the air, and I was like, "Yeah, this is absolutely a gorgeous day. It's been raining the whole day, etc." I mean, maybe where he lives, we have a paper mill. And so they use sulfur dioxide to kind of like clean the paper. So maybe that's what it smells. But it used to be a problem. Like, I mean, when I arrived in Savannah in 2004, like on a rainy day when the wind was right, you would definitely smell like the sulfur. But they bought scrubbers like 10 years, 15 years ago, and since then it's dramatically lessened. So I don't know where he lives. Savannah is a gorgeous city. That's the place where I lived the longest in my life so far. Like I traveled, I lived in South America, I lived in Africa, I lived in Europe, I lived in plenty of cities in the US, and Savannah is one of my favorites. And I'll leave it at that. Well, after that, like many opinions. So
yeah, I have a similar thing. I live in Wisconsin, so all the bars and blah blah blah. But there's a brewery right downtown of the main town where I live, and there's a bike trail that goes through there, and you have to hold your breath for a good 2 minutes. Otherwise, you just fall right off your bike, pass out.
There's a
terrible.
Budweiser plant, like not right where I live, but like driving like to the freeway at the pass, and now when you drive past that, it's like you can't even breathe. Like I don't know how big the brewery is where you're at, but I mean, this is like a giant Budweiser like factory, so it stinks.
So not only it's a brewery, but it's a brewery that brews bad beer.
Yeah. It brews crap beers.
Yeah.
How do you guys call that? Cat piss, right?
Or dishwater, one of the two.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Dirty dishwater water.
Yeah.
Well, you say that you had a broken dishwater, right? Maybe you can like help them out a little bit.
Fill it up. Here. Dump it in.
Hey guys, you need a third party.
It is one of the things that I do love about living near Cleveland is the sheer amount of microbrew companies that are around here are phenomenal, and they all seem to be like top notch. So I've been enjoying that quite a bit.
Nice.
Unfortunately, my waistline hasn't been enjoying it a little bit too much too. But
it's Cleveland, it's where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is, correct?
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was there a while ago, like maybe 5 years ago. Very nice city.
Okay. I moved here from New York City, so I've got a lot of criticisms that Cleveland just needs to.
I lived in New York, but I enjoyed it because I was in my 20s. But like I would not move back to New York like in my 40s.
Yeah, you like Savannah where it's smelly.
Here we go.
It's not. It's. I mean,
Dude,
listen. I was telling them. I was no. Let me speak. I was telling them. I just went back from an hour and 40-minute walk in Daffen Park, and I was like, I knew that I was going to talk to you tonight, so I was like smelling around, and I was like, oh, that smells great. I could smell the magnolias and things like that. So I don't know where you live, man, but like, you need to change.
Dude,
you need to change apartment.
Let me give you some history. Let me give you a history lesson, Cyril. I've lived in Savannah for 13 years now.
25.
I've lived on every street. No wonder you don't smell it anymore, dude. You've been here for 20 freaking years. Your nose is probably so corroded from paper that you can't smell it, dude. Dude, I've lived on almost every block downtown, and it's so stinky, bro. So stinky. I've lived on every part of Savannah possible.
Don't listen to him, he's lying.
Except Georgetown. It is a stanky ass place. Don't come here.
I've only been there once, and I never smelled anything.
It's a beautiful city. Come visit us.
No. It's got this gross moss that grows in trees. It's disgusting.
It's pretty as fuck, the moss. Are you kidding?
It's disgusting. It's filled with bugs. Bro.
Oh yeah, you don't touch it, you don't put it on your head, but it's very pretty.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
I mean, I don't know, maybe you wanted to make a wig out of it, but yeah, you don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's half the fun, and it's awful. It's smelly.
Yeah, just don't put it on your face. That's fine.
Dude, it sucks, bro. I will say, I was downtown the other day, and it's been like a year or something, I think, since I've been downtown. And I looked up. I was like, I looked up at some of the buildings. What's that? You know that SCAD building with the cannons and shit out front?
Yeah, where they have the SCAD store.
Yeah. So I feel like I haven't looked up it, and I saw that one building from across the street. It's so fucking huge and massive. It has a like Roman architecture on the top of it. It's wild. It looks good. It looks cool. So I felt I was like, yeah, Cyril, maybe Cyril's right,
It's a pretty city. I mean, it has its faults, but I lived in plenty of places, and I really, really enjoy Savannah. Like, I like it has its faults.
But I like Savannah's size. Like, I like everything about the size of Savannah. I like the vibe. I'm not against the vibe.
Walking in Savannah is amazing. Like I'm a pedestrian. I love walking.
Yeah.
And like Savannah is an American city where like it's super, super walker friendly.
Yeah.
Like you can go from bar to bar.
City of America. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's famous for that. Yeah. It's just smelly, bro. I'm telling you.
So now that we've done Savannah, let's go on Unreal versus Unity. Let's take care of all the contentious thing, and then we can move on to the nice topics.
Cyril, did you see my post about turkeys being able to use emojis?
No, I don't think I did.
So in Unreal, we can use emojis to name stuff.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
No, and it works with my source control. It packages, it builds. We can do it in C++.
Man, I need to jump engine. Like that's all I was waiting for. Is to use emojis in my file names.
I'm telling you, bro. It's the best.
This is it.
Switch. That's it.
That's it. You convinced me.
Yes, we've done it. Where's Robert? Is Robert not here?
Yeah, Robert's not here.
I don't give a flying fuck about emojis.
Come on, dude. Come on. You gotta use emojis.
No, but our own icons in the TextMesh Pro. But we just
there is one thing. Like I work with Unreal like almost as much as I work with Unity because all my students are on Unreal. So I'm seeing Unreal all the time. I just happened when I got hired by SCAD, I had I was a Flash game developer.
Yeah, me too.
And I was like,
yeah, let's go.
Yeah, and I was like, I wanted to kind of pick something, and I knew that SCAD was doing Unreal, and I was like, well, I'm going to do Unity. That will bring something different. And Unity is also very close to Flash. I mean, like there is a vibe about Unity that reminds me of Flash, and the interface
looked like Flash. It for a long time. Yeah. I used Flash for texturing.
Yeah, I mean, I loved Flash for animating. I did most of my vector work on Flash. I preferred Flash to Illustrator by a lot.
Me too, dude. Yes, I hate Illustrator. Flash. I use Flash for everything.
Yeah, I
I do a logo for someone. I have to give them a vector, so I'm just going to live trace it in Illustrator. I don't know. I already hit like I gave him a max on how much like we could spend on the project, and I already went over that, and so I don't want to spend a bunch of time doing a vector by hand. So I'm just going to live trace it.
Vectors are fast, bro. What?
Well, the thing with Flash is that the way it was handling vectors, you could actually like put that, like the Bezier curves are annoying as hell in Illustrator. And the way Flash, you could just deform your curves by hand. And the amount of control that you had on the curve in Flash was just amazing.
Oh, so good. I'm glad I'm not the only one out there that feels the same way, dude.
I miss it a lot. So all of that to say that Unity started that way, but as soon as I'm done making games, as soon as I can like find a little bit of time for myself, I will pick up Unreal and learn it. Like particularly Unreal 5, I'm very interested, kind of like diving into this.
Yeah, it's very broken. 5 when I've arrived.
Hey, what's up? I'm
the enemy at the gates.
Yeah, I know. You unfollowed me on Twitter.
You unfollowed Robert on Twitter, Cyril.
You hurt his feelings.
I posted about my skin shader. I was all excited about it. And you were like, unfollow. I see how it is. All right. You know.
Did I don't know.
Cyril's
I told you if I just did it by itself.
He's probably just scrolling and bumped it. Is what.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
I know. I got a message from Blair, and he was like, "Are you mad at me?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
No. But
sorry, I'm late, by the way, guys.
Are you sure about that? Because I still see your post about Heartlands. So.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right, well,
I can check.
I'll follow you back. But
my brain is so fucking fried, guys. We've been working insane hours.
Yeah,
sounds. Let me check because
now he's worried. He's like, uh-oh. I mean, you could have just fat thumbed it. It's so easy to hit the unfollow button nowadays.
I just imagine that I offend people.
Because like it's unfollowed like people that like,
no, you're right. You're right.
I talk to regularly.
Boom.
It's weird.
Hey, look at that. You got a new follower.
You got a new follower. Robert,
yes,
you did it.
I am a person again.
But what I don't understand is that like I guess I see your posts because maybe they are retweeted by VRV Dev or something like that.
Probably.
The rest of us
that may be the case.
Yeah, the rest of us interact with it, so that's probably why.
It's an algorithmic probably thing.
Gotcha.
I really wish my shit could get as much traction as the goddamn video recording options. They got 27,000 views, man. What the hell?
Nice, dude.
And my name in an article. That was fancy.
Yeah. Every bit helps, man. That'll bring some eyes to your other stuff.
Hopefully. We're having the weirdest issues with the performance right now. What did I miss anyway? What are you guys talking about?
Me and Cyril, we're talking about smelly places.
Savannah out of the way.
Yeah. We agree that Savannah's a great place.
It's over.
What a terrible place.
Yeah. No, it's a great place. It's just smelly. That's all. Cyril,
well, it's Georgia, so by default, it's terrible. Sorry.
What?
Listen. Savannah is to Georgia what Austin is to Texas.
Dude, it's the same.
Savannah is quirky. It's because of SCAD. It has lots and lots of diversity and people like from all walks of life. And
I've never been there. I just hate Georgia as a state because
it's
Georgia.
The blue bastion of the South, baby. It's the best. Savannah's the best place.
Savannah is extremely liberal for that matter. I mean, Savannah has a lot of. You can walk anywhere with a glass of alcohol in your hand in the street and nobody will arrest you. Like there is an open container policy. Like it's.
All right, you sold me. D-Mom, I'm coming for a visit. Pull out your couch.
You can just drink up. It's great. You just hang out. It's got the best bar scene.
And an amazing food scene. Like the restaurants in Savannah compete with Atlanta, compete with Charlotte. I mean, again, like it has its flaws, like a lot of cities. But I would say for the size of it, I think it's a little gem.
Yeah, I think the size is what really makes it special. Is like it's got it's the perfect size.
Yeah, it's small enough. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I like. It has the biggest historical downtown in the U.S. 24 blocks of historical preserved downtown.
That was the part
Queen Anne architecture and stuff.
I didn't even know there was a Savannah outside of downtown for a long time because it's so massive. It's just like
the downtown is real big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did Savannah 2 years ago when I went to Tybee Island on a family vacation, and yeah, we did the
there you go.
historical
Okay.
stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, it was
Did you go to the
absolutely
Crab
lovely.
Shack?
No, we did one
Oh, you
dinner
missed it.
downtown.
You missed it.
Yeah, I'm sure. We did one dinner
Crab
at some
Shack's
like
the
old
best.
historical place, and then the rest of the time was just out on Tybee Island on the
pink
beach,
house.
just yeah.
Oh yeah, was it
Yeah.
the Pink House?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right
Everyone
by
and their
that,
mom
because
goes-
I remember seeing the pink house and thinking, "Wow, that's
As long as-
historical."
As long as it's not
I lived in
Paula
a pink
Dean's,
house
you're
growing
good,
up.
I guess.
Oh fuck, Paula Dean is
Yeah,
terrible.
fuck Paula Dean's, bro.
Yeah,
It's like
shit.
eating canned food and stuff. It's the worst.
Well, I mean, it's like. Plus, I'm French. Like it's like although everything is fried, everything is oily as fuck. Yeah,
Nope. Paula Dean's, baby. Is it
And
still
she's-
open?
I don't. Well, I think so. Yeah. I mean, she got in
don't know if
trouble
I've
like for
noticed.
some
Yeah,
racist
right?
comments. But or her brother or her husband, I don't remember who. But I don't know. Like I think it's
I
like
haven't noticed
like
it.
she was on TV, so like a lot of people, they see something on
Yeah.
TV, so automatically it's good. But
Yeah, the
like, that's
lines
the
are
thing.
always long.
Like
They
you
used to be.
go to the Gray, it has a great food.
Yeah.
You go to local,
Yeah, Gray's
1110,
awesome. Yes.
great food. Circa has great French, is a great French restaurant. Like, I mean, we are blessed with tons and tons of restaurants. And that's the thing that was kind of really worrying me with the pandemic, is that a lot of them shut down, but a lot of them
Yeah.
reopened or new one opened. So it's like, we did not lose too much.
Yeah. I think the
Nice.
food scene survived, which was nice.
No.
Everyone got that takeout. To go
Well, I mean,
orders.
a lot of them, they kind of like, they pivoted. And one of the things that the city did that was very clever is that because nobody was kind of going there, they allowed all the restaurants to open terrace where the parking lots would be. And so like the restaurants kind of started putting their tables outside, with social distancing and stuff like that. So that means that a lot of them could reopen in the middle of the pandemic and have like kind of like the whole distancing dining stuff going on. So that kind of like was a little bit of a help for the business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
they
super
did
cool,
that
man.
where I live too. They had like the little tables in the parking lot. But I think a lot of what they got was through like the delivery and takeout too.
Yeah.
They're like the.
Well, I mean,
the one that reads
it shows
and
how
stuff.
clever the business were, right?
Yeah. Yeah, VR grew a lot during the pandemic too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Probably good for us.
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to buy my Quest
Well,
from like a scalper. I had to pay like 100 over MSRP when I got my Quest 1 because they were sold out everywhere. Like,
Damn, dude.
Shit. Yeah, I got lucky. I got mine from Meta directly.
Yeah, I got mine for free.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
same
the
brag.
stuff.
Me
stuff
and Cyril are bragging out here.
they still send out the Quest 1s too. It's like, what do I need with the old Quest?
Yeah,
You know,
I got a.
Quest
They sent me a
1.
Quest 1 like way after the Quest 2 had already came out. Like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah,
But this is great actually to have the
Useless
Quest 1.
start.
Shock Troops was tested mostly on the Quest 1 because we knew it's like, hey, if we can make it work on the Quest 1, we'll be able to make it work on the Quest 2. Unfortunately, we are not shipping on the Quest 1 because we have a few levels that are like borderline, and we did not want it to take a risk with QA. But
Yeah, it's not worth
the
it
Quest
anymore.
1 is great.
It's
Yeah.
not worth
Mhm.
anymore though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, not that many
No
people have it.
one that's no one's pushing for it anymore. I mean, it's just because like the quality of the Quest 2 is just too. You can make your game a lot better, than
Yeah,
you could
you can.
before.
It's true.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
though, I do feel that I did like the head strap of the Quest 1 better than the
Yes,
ones of
I
the Quest 2.
loved the
Yeah.
head strap.
I like
I
the head
loved
strap.
that head
Oh, and I
strap.
like that they had a headphone jack on both sides. Like,
Yes.
Yeah,
it's
that was
just, it's a
good.
dumb
Yeah.
thing, but like I really like that.
Wait a sec.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean,
I'm
it's-
still on my Quest 1, so wait, headphones back up. Son of a
Yeah, on the
bitch.
Quest 2,
Right.
it's only on the left side. And it also came
Yeah,
with like
it's only
the
on the
charger
left side.
cables really tiny that it came with.
Yeah.
And it's like a lower charging speed.
Yeah, they did
And,
that on
like, yeah,
purpose.
the-
You'll
the
buy their
strap
fucking
is
link
like-
cable.
Like a backpack strap or something. It's ridiculous. The strap it comes with.
The link cable's great. I like the the Oculus link cable.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
good.
hefty.
Fiber optic.
And for that
It's good.
matter, I never have to charge my Quest 2 because it's constantly like connected to my computer,
Yeah.
so it's constantly
Yeah, same.
charging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always use mine wirelessly. I like to use virtual desktop. It's just easier.
Yeah, I definitely
How the hell
do.
do you use
I-
virtual desktop for development?
I've been
mean?
using it for develop. I've been using
I just started up and
not virtual
click
desktop.
play
The
in
app.
Unity, and it runs the game.
Like,
Well,
like every time I've tried, like virtual desktop will not work with Unreal Engine. I have to use Airlink.
No, it does.
Huh.
Oh, you mean Airlink? Yeah. I use Airlink.
no, it works in
fine.
Unity, but if you're in like like if I'm on an Android build mode, and then it won't work in Unity. I have to use like the Airlink. But if I'm on my PC build and it's using like Steam VR for the input, then it's golden. Or if I'm using
Steam VR.
like
Steam
OXR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like using
Cyril,
I use both. I have like both inputs going and stuff for like the PC one. When it goes to Steam, it's easier.
That makes sense. I mean, you're launching on both. That makes sense.
Yeah, for my driving game too, I set it up for both.
how do you got time to do driving games, freelance, and like and your actual game?
I just don't.
The man is
like,
a fucking wizard. He's not Raven anymore. That's how.
I'm just like, I don't really have energy to do anything else at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think our scales must just be like entirely different. I'm working like 20 hours a fucking day sometimes on this shit.
Do you work? Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't work. Definitely work all that work.
I mean, you don't have a hard release date, do you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a hard release date. I don't have like investors, but I don't have no one to answer to. So I just, as long as I release updates fast enough to keep like my Patreons happy and everyone like it, everyone's cool.
That makes sense.
I don't think anyone even noticed too if I didn't release updates for a couple of weeks. So I mean, it's kind of nice. No obligations.
Say, how often do you update so your Patreons are happy?
Well, I do it every Friday. This was actually today was the first Friday I haven't done it in a long time.
Wow.
I had a lot of like contract work. I was working on some contract work, so that took a lot of time. And then I got kind of caught up doing like the car driving game. Like I had this weird bug with it, and it's just one of those things I was just obsessed over fixing. And it turned out it was, I don't know, I just had to delete the OVR camera rig from the scene and put it back in again, and that fixed it.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I don't know if you saw the post about like my text turning into little blocks, but it totally looked like the atlas was missing or like the material was bad. Except it wasn't pink, it was like the right color. So I was like, what's going on? And so I did that and then it fixed it. And I was like, I don't know why that fixed it or why that was broken in the first place, but whatever.
So when you do updates for your Patreon,
oh shit,
what do you end up like posting? Is it just videos, GIFs, things like that?
No, I'm saying I update the game every Friday. Like I release a new build.
Damn.
We've thought about doing weekly builds after we launch version 2.0 Harlands.
Yeah, I usually have something like worth like, downloading a new build, but this week it was just kind of some minor bug updates. So I was like, guys, new build this week. But yeah, it's been pretty cool. It's fun. Got some new like voice actors coming on, and I got a couple of them to write their own like characters and parts and stuff. So I'm just waiting for that.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Takes a little bit of the pressure off.
Dude, I had this like crazy meeting with this like massive advertising agency in Japan last night.
Oh yeah,
and like the whole meeting was in Japanese or whatever, and I'm just sitting there like But luckily they brought a translator for me, so it wasn't as bad. But I had to pitch and like tell them about like all 32 characters in the game.
Oh wow!
And I was like, so I was like going through like all these spreadsheets in Japanese and showing them like all this stuff, and I didn't realize it was going to be like the head boss of like talent acquisition or whatever, and I was like freaking out. I was like, what am I doing?
Thought it was going to be a peon.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be some like low end dude who's just going to like give me like or ask me some questions and give me like the rundown of what I need to do for them to start acquiring voice actors. But yeah, apparently it was a big deal. I was like, what the?
Oh, nice! It's like a casting like, agency type thing. Or?
Yes, yeah, it's I mean, it's it's Dentsu Media. I think they're just called Dentsu. Yeah. They're like one of the biggest advertising.
I worked with Dentsu. Before.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
They did. I did the launch of one of their properties that's called Monsuno,
Oh, cool.
Which was kind of like Monsuno was a kind of it was a cartoon, but also animated toys that you could collect and that you could fight. So it was kind of like their answer to Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that.
That's cool. Yeah. So they I was meeting for them, and they're going to handle all the voice acting talent in Japan for localization. Yeah. It's pretty cool. The game's written in Japanese first, actually, so it's like a reverse. We're doing like a reverse localization because my writer is from Japan, so she's the whole thing's she writes that first. So so it was cool. We're gonna get some like top tier anime voice actors and stuff, so I'm pretty excited.
That's awesome.
Potentially, it's not 100% done deal, but if they get scheduled or like if their schedules are open or whatever, it's gonna be pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. Get some.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of a negotiation about localization in China.
Yeah. Good luck with that one. I saw you asking some questions or whatever.
Have you talked to Kiyu at all, or Kiyi? That's making the Kiyu 3 headset. Have they contacted you from China?
It's I can't. I signed a NDA, and it's an extremely large company.
Yeah, it might start with it's probably Pico, obviously.
Yeah, they're the only competitor.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No,
it's
Pico.
not.
It's much bigger.
What the fuck is bigger than ByteDance?
I mean, Tencent maybe.
They don't have a headset though. I mean, we don't know about
not
it.
Yet. Not that you know about. Not that you know about.
I mean, HTC,
cool,
I guess, but they're dead in the water. Fuck them.
I disagree, but okay.
Fuck HTC. What are they going to do? Focus me to death?
The Reverb G2? Is that who's HTC? Because I got a Reverb G2.
All right, well,
that's HP.
HTC is called Meta to death.
Microsoft sent me that one, the G2.
Yeah. The G2 seems nice. HTC, they don't care about VR anymore.
I actually disagree with that.
Show me their headset. What do they got? The Pro 2? Ooh.
I can't.
Their headset's a fucking joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if they have a standalone thing coming, okay, sure, but I'll believe when I see it.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's funny. Anyway, that's cool, Cyril. Are they gonna have to make you do anything low violence or?
So they are actually interested about 3 projects like Stones of Harlath, Shock Troops, and then the next project that Simeon, the coder on Stones of Harlath, already started working on our next game.
Nice.
So, and the next one is going to be much bigger. So I want to kind of like hire some talents to kind of help with the production, because working with 2 people, it's getting a little old now.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't like working by myself or like with small teams. Like I gotta have the army. I do like small teams, but I think there is very, 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 very small, and there is correctly small. And I think I want correctly small. Yeah, correctly small. Correctly small is where it's at. I agree with that. Yeah, that's the right. Yeah.
I mean, we're at 6 people now. I feel like I have a lot of fucking people. Well, I guess it was
pretty
7.
good. I mean, 6 sounds pretty good to me. I mean,
7. We did have 7, but our AI and animation guy just resigned. So.
Yeah, the thing about 6 to 10 to me is a sweet spot.
Yeah. I think the thing about like indie dev is like you got to find guys that can do multiple things, right?
Yeah, we wear multiple hats. Yeah,
you got to wear. They got to be multi-talented people, and sometimes those are the hardest ones to find. It's like,
well, not only that, and then they also need to have a vision and stick to it, because there is nothing that I hate more than people that constantly change their mind, because it slows everything down. I'm sorry.
No. Change.
I mean, if you're hiring people, though, then the vision's your vision. Like then
changing your mind. What I mean by changing my mind, I guess, would be like, based on iteration, like based on gameplay. It's like, okay, I've played this isn't good, so now we have to do something else, right?
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do as a game designer.
I know, but
that's normal. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have some people that some people are like, okay, it starts with Sushi Ben VR, and then midway it's like, let's make it a train simulator, and then after that, a shooter, and then after it's like,
I agree. That's obnoxious.
It's wasting everybody's time. Yeah.
I must have gotten super lucky though with this intern that I got then, because this guy is just incredible. Like, he basically just said, here, I'll just do whatever. And I said, okay, let me think of like a curriculum that you could do. So he started just modeling. And then I was like, okay, take those models and let's rig and animate them. And when he started sending me back animations, it's like, holy crap, I would have never thought to animate this character this way. Like,
well, you got an actual intern? I thought you were talking about your kid.
Actual intern. Like,
I was like, you got your kid doing animation? That's sick.
You're like, wow, your kid's smarter than I thought.
There is nothing better than child labor, apparently.
And, he always child labor.
He always makes a child labor joke, so that's always.
The child labor is getting a little more expensive because they want to switch from just like snacky bars to Lunchables, and that. Damn. This thing's like $4 a pop. Yeah, dude. And all the
waste, Costco,
like all the
in bulk.
Oh, jeez, I wish I could. Maybe just like dangling them over the. Come on, sit down, draw some artwork for me. But no, this intern, he just took some pictures that I had a whole stack of and said, here, just start making models, start animating, and he's just taking it in a different but good direction. And I'm like, wow, I actually never realized like the energy that you can get from working with somebody. I've been doing solo for so long that having somebody feed ideas, it's like, oh wow, I want more. I'm getting
team
greedy.
Collaboration's the best, dude. Like I just never would want to go by myself. It'd just be like, give me some social interaction,
No, I agree. Even when it's just Simeon and I or Michel and I, like the ping pong and the bouncing back and forth, like it's great. It's totally worth it.
Yeah. It's so good to just have someone to rubber duck or bounce ideas off of. It's just like the best. It's the best feeling.
And that's the best part is just you throw out an idea and like they just take it and run with it and bring back something that's like completely unexpected but fits with what you've got in mind.
Well, also sometimes surprise you, like you were mentioning, like for example lately with Michel, I've been designing, like I do all the levels in the game and I do the sprites for the enemies, but he does the AI and he places the enemies in the level. So that means that when I get to play the level, I have actually no idea where things are located, meaning that I actually play it like a player and not like a developer. Like I get surprised and jump scared by my own game. Which is always a good.
It's happened to me.
Yeah, that's so cool. Like that's like I love that. I love that a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I like that I'm in the kind of like position now where I can just tell people like to do my silly idea and then they have to go do it. It's great because we just did this fishing. My game is basically turning into like a fishing narrative adventure game or whatever. So like we have this one fishing thing. Yeah, dude. You go fishing and there's this quest where you have to like capture these seagulls, and if you don't capture the seagulls, they come and steal your fish like before you can grab them off their line or whatever. And the first time I did it and played when I was fishing, I was taken back. I was like shocked. I was like, whoa, this is so awesome. That the seagull will steal it every time. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
So Justin, like every time I'm seeing your trailer come up here, I keep hearing the teaser music from Kill Bill. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah. I'm trying to move my toe right now. All right. My foot's asleep. Actually. Oh my god.
Trying to remember what was the teaser song. Is it the Twisted Nerve song? The one that's in that movie Twisted Nerve, where it's like dee, 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 dee.
No, not that one. There was a trailer when they first launched Kill Bill, and it was just this epic like guitar, and they would just flash up title cards with Tarantino will kill Bill kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember that far back. I know in my head I can hear it. Yeah, in my head I can hear
It seems like old people movies.
You never seen Kill Bill?
I'm
You're
not
joking, right?
fucking 90 or 40 or whatever you guys are.
Kill Bill, not that old of a movie,
bro.
What? You gotta watch.
I'm
Kill
not
I mean,
Bill.
it is old. It's
You
like
gotta,
20 years.
When we're done with this, you gotta get off and
pretty
just like
old.
go watch it like right now. Like
Yeah. No,
Robert doesn't have time
it's a
for
2-part
movies.
movie. It's a great.
I don't have
movie.
time for movies. I don't.
You say that, but you beat Halo Infinite like 4 times or something.
Yeah.
You're like, how do you have
Yeah,
time
dude.
for movies? I'm like, how do you have time for video games?
Because I know how to spend my time better than movies.
Wow.
Come on,
Movies
we
are
work
great.
in games. You'd rather watch a movie than play a game? What?
Well, think about how long
Sometimes,
it takes to watch a
yes.
movie is like an hour and a half, but how long does it take to like beat a game? Like,
Oh, and also,
like
Halo's
10,
a special
20
case.
hours.
I have beat every single Halo game the night it released, and I'm not going to change that ever.
even
I've
Halo Wars.
played one Halo game once ever, and I'll never play it again.
You're a failure at
Thank
life.
you.
I don't know if we can be friends anymore. I'm just kidding.
Cyril, when is your game coming out?
I know.
Well,
Do you have a date announced yet? You don't have to tell me.
I haven't. I don't have a date announced yet, but
Okay.
we are in towards the third tier of QA. It's going
Nice.
really well so far.
I want to play it already.
Listen, if everything goes well, within a month-ish, you should be able to play it.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Oh,
It's just so like, dude, I don't know. I really like
I love your
the-
art style. Just like the pixelated,
The
like,
art style,
3D.
dude. The art style. It's like,
so nostalgic.
but it's not like a normal. It's not like normal pixel art. Like whenever you see
Right.
like a lot of indie pixel games, they're unlit, right? Cyril's got
Yeah,
like,
no,
this
this
cool,
is lit.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's got this cool material. Yeah, or like the lighting and stuff is really just so moody and aesthetic, bro.
'Cause, yeah, like the guy who does Compound,
great.
that's all unlit, and it looks like you know,
Yeah,
Doom, the original one from '93 or something.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cyril
that's
think
what
that's
the
the big,
Dragon game looks like. It's unlit and it does look like the old
That's the
Doom.
big difference
But that's what I
between
was
the
going for,
Compound and Shock Troops, in my opinion. It's like Compound
Uh-huh.
looks great, but it's
Yeah.
completely unlit, and it gives like
Yeah.
that very kind of retro, as opposed to kind of Shock Troops that is kind of like using retro textures, but kind of like more modern lighting
Yeah,
approach.
yeah. Yours looks like
Uh,
a modern, like what a modern tech, like a modern version of that type of stuff would look like. It looks nice. Yeah.
The thing is, right now I'm working on the content update, so you will hear it first. For Halloween, we will have a new completely new mission that will be obviously kind of like horror heavy, and so that's what I'm
Yeah.
working on right now. So
That's
we're
awesome.
launching
Nice.
with 4 missions. Each 4 missions at 4 levels each, and for Halloween you will get a 5th mission with an additional 4 levels on a
Nice.
ghost spaceship.
That's
Oh, that's
awesome.
cool.
And I'm having a blast with it. Like I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Nice.
It looks really cool.
Nice.
But yeah, the game
Are the
should
enemies,
launch
like,
very,
billboarded,
very,
or, like,
very,
they're, like,
very
flat?
soon.
Like the Doom type enemies where they're flat.
Yeah. All the enemies are sprites. They are billboarded sprites.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, the big difference between them and Stones of Harlath, at least at launch, is that we upped the resolution of the sprites. So they used to be 64 by 64. Now they are 128 by 128. So it allows us to
Oh,
bring a
boy.
little bit more definition in the enemies.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you'll see on the trailer, you'll see some of them. It's still very pixelated. I mean, it's the big
Yeah.
question that I'm having for myself is the next project. I haven't decided yet if it would be pixel art or if it would be kind of like painted textures. I haven't decided. Because
I will
on
say
one hand,
painted
like
textures.
pixel art.
No, like you can go ahead. Sorry.
No. So sorry, go for it.
Oh, because like I mean that's what we're doing, right? We're doing like hand, or at least that's the new style that we've been doing is like hand painted stuff. I would say it's quite intense production.
I can imagine.
It's very slow, and sometimes in VR it's kind of. Sometimes there's like issues that might not crop up normally.
But yeah,
he's
Yeah,
like defining depth
It's
with
tough.
textures instead of actual like 3D depth. So
Yeah.
I just don't want to be a one-trick pony, or where it's like every JavaScript game.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, I definitely say go for it, but I say it's definitely the hardest. Like time wise, it's a lot of work.
Now, when
Yeah,
you're saying
because I was making my driving game, I was doing like pixel art graphics, and I was like, this is a lot less time consuming than regular textures, which is nice. And I think with like modeling like the stuff too. I mean, my models aren't as like nice as his. Like I just have simple buildings and stuff, but it was kind of nice just to be able to be like, well, this building is just a giant cube, and then there's a cube pushed through the hole.
Although Cyril's pixel art is really detailed, so I mean,
yeah,
it probably
but it's still faster.
Similar. You still think it's faster?
I mean, I think it's faster because since today's topic was kind of optimization, most of my texture sheets, so an entire level is at last on usually one texture sheet that is 2000 by 2000, 2048 by 2048. So I have the entire text. I have the entire textures of an entire level that fits on 2000 pixels by 2000 pixels, right? So that allows me, like, when you can see around you, I mean, like some of those textures come from shock troops. It is detailed, but because it's on a smaller scale, it's faster for me to cover that space
that's
with
true.
pixel. So yeah, I mean, it usually, like I calculated, it takes me about a week to make one level.
Wow,
that's really good.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
No, it's not. No, it's
that
not
is
bad.
really good. It takes just for contrast. It takes about 4 days for one building without or at least the style that we're doing. Well, it takes like 4 days. For one building without any props. It's just like the structure of the building, nothing special on it. It's like 4 days.
And that's like with already having the concept drawing and knowing what you're doing. Including.
Yeah, this is just purely like taking a model and our models are simple. I don't know, like our models are really simple. Every building's like 2,000 polygons or something. And even still, it's like it's slow. It's been a slow go.
But it's the texture
is impressive. We have some buildings that are like fucking 30,000.
What?
We have some buildings that are like 30,000. Yeah.
Well, it's insane.
Like the guild hall in the old district is like 30,000 triangles. Yeah.
But I mean, that's like how much space?
It's a giant building.
Footage, right? Because if it's a giant building, then
like it's probably like 4 or 5 times the size of a regular building. Yeah, it's huge.
Well, is it modular? I mean, how are you going? Because that's the thing. Like, if you have like 30K triangles on one building, like the rest of the town, on the Quest 2, once you pass like 150K triangles, you're going to start having some struggles.
Yeah, no. I guess you haven't heard about like our optimization shit, but like we're able to get like our safety zone is 700 draw calls and 700,000 triangles thereabouts.
700 draw calls on the Quest 2.
Yes,
that
we're
sounds
running that on the Quest 2.
To me.
Yeah.
Sounds insane to me. This is like literally impossible.
The main pass on like the Heartlands, like I could give you guys a demo of it right now. The dungeons being fucky, there's a whole occlusion thing I'm dealing with, but yeah, like the main path is like 600 draw calls, and then once you turn onto the street, it's like 300.
There is no point in any of my games, Stones of Harlath or Shock Troops, where I go above 120 draw calls.
Yeah, see that like that shit's not possible with the way we do modular buildings. We can generate an entire house. Like I can generate like for the next district of the game. Like the main game is going to launch, which is the old district. But like after that, my building's generator system could generate an entire district in a day.
But couldn't you just batch those to get like batch the buildings together or batch like?
We're doing a lot of stuff. So like I mean. The actual buildings themselves are actually merged all together, and then we reduce the material count as much as possible. And then for like the far off buildings,
I can show you how to make an entire building, no matter how big it is, just one material. Like
it's called atlasing.
I mean, not even without atlasing. Like in our game, every building has 5. in our game, our buildings could have up to 5 textures, and it's one material.
Yeah, have you seen my new art stuff, dude?
Yeah, dude.
It's
are you
super
doing
detailed.
textures? Are you doing texture arrays?
Yeah, I mean it's essentially a fake, or it's essentially a fake array in the material itself.
Gotcha.
It's still, we still have those extra texture fetches or whatever, which but we've done it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we've done our most recent like stress test. We made a map with like 50 unique buildings with over 260 unique textures, and all at 4K, which is a little overkill, but just because we were just trying to break it, right? And it ran at 90 hertz, no problem. Like it was just perfect.
Wow.
But so I don't understand how you can 700 draw calls on the Quest. Like have you tried it on the Quest 2 with the frame rate debugger and all of that stuff?
Yes. So like the first demo of Heartlands, which you can get right now in App Lab. The main pass is about 300 triangles, and then the street is about 200. And then when you get to the very top, if you like actually look out over the past the clock tower, it's like 450 because there's a lot of fucking buildings. And I think we reached like 500,000 triangles in the city during the actual whole pass.
And you're not using like Space Warp or anything, or are you?
For version 2, right now we're having some problems. We're having to use Space Warp. But the first gen, no, we did not use Space Warp on the first gen. The first version.
Well, I mean, those numbers, 300K. I mean, 300K triangles for the entire scene is like, what your max budget would be, or I mean, what you obviously
like we know for a fact that if we keep our triangle count like less than 600,000, we can get 900 draw calls. Our goal is less than 700 draw calls and less than 1 million triangles. It's really about like how expensive shading those pixels are.
That's all it is. I mean, it's all relative. It isn't like
like my materials are super optimized as well.
Yeah, you can't just say, oh, it's like 300,000 triangles.
That's the thing that I don't understand, because they cannot be simpler than my materials because there is only one albedo and that's it. And I can
we use fake lighting and everything. I don't understand how you couldn't possibly get that then. Have you tried to pack a scene full of like 300,000 triangles?
But Cyril, it is
100% doable.
Your scene's lit, right, Cyril?
Well, I mean, there are light maps, but I have
that makes the material itself. That makes the material itself even more expensive, though.
We use no lighting whatsoever.
Yeah.
Technically, I have fake shadows that are like fake decals, and I have fake reflections as well that are like built into the materials that I can toggle on and off. And of course, my skin shader has like fake specular highlights as well. But
it's true that
it all runs.
The light maps are adding overhead for sure. But I could not envision my game without them.
No. Your game looks perfect. Like you don't change.
Oh yeah, it looks great.
There's. It's just saying that I think the idea is that like you can't just say 3,000 triangles when you've got your materials could be cheaper than what normally would be, or because like in Unreal, like an unlit material compared to a lit material is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's like 898 for a base versus like 117 or something.
Even if you're just using the the emissive channel, it's still a bazillion if you don't change it to the unlit.
It's like 117 or 126 instructions, something like that.
Yeah,
But how are you going to reconcile? Because the thing is that you're going like last time I seen like you've been shifting from like textures that are kind of like flat and things like that into textures that are more like akin to like
photoreal.
We're kind of going for something around like a
Morrowind style.
We're going for something that's like a 2006 to 2008 art style, somewhere in there.
Like Oblivion or something.
But Morrowind has a lot of lighting. Morrowind has a lot of lighting happening in
it does. Yeah. Oblivion is like really my inspiration for the whole thing, and like our lighting is faked using just a Fresnel effect, and it works relatively well. And then we use the Vulkan subpass to kind of expand those out and make them look even darker in certain areas. It's not in the demo yet, but I really want to get it in. Is our fake shadows as well. we're using like basically like a shadow map for like trees and stuff, and it adds like kind of a fake shadow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but then like actually like regular shadows on like buildings and shit, and we don't have any of that. It works because of the mobile tone map subpass though on Vulkan. Works really very well, and we have a day-night cycle using the material parameter collection.
That you're welcome. Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I was trying to use Oculus's integration for that, but their shit's fucking broken.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people knew, or not a lot of people are, know much about material parameter collections, at least in the amateur side of.
Oh, they're fucking magic, dude. I love them.
Yeah,
we're doing so much cool shit with like material parameter collections. Like our entire weather shader, like we have water that drips down the sides of buildings when it rains, and that shit is also controlled by material parameter collection. Yeah. Yeah, my game is a technical marvel for being able to run on the Quest. I don't apologize for that.
I need to play your next version because I want to see.
You very well do.
I have to see it to believe it because 700 draw calls just sounds insane to me.
I could get you a build of the cart ride tonight if you wanted it. There is a stutter we're having a problem with at the very begining when we initialize all the textures on the island,
until the thing comes out.
It's so important that beginning scene. I mean, you saw the video, didn't you, Demo?
Yeah, I've seen the video. I just I want to see it in headset, and kind of absorb it. And that sounds insane to me. 700 drop, even
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That sounds crazy.
To be fair, we're not trying to have 700 draw calls. Like I just from our testing, that's what we're maxing out at. Give or take if our triangles are up there as well.
That's crazy.
Yeah, to me, to
be fair, we shouldn't have any more than 350 is like middle of the road perfect for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Oculus's recommended for Quest 2,
they're wrong.
I know they're always wrong. They have like 1 million. No. The updated for Oculus 2 or Quest 2 or whatever is 1 million something or something.
Yeah,
like
I've
that.
never understood that. I can tell you that
triangles or draw calls, the recommendation is 100.
Yeah, draw call recommendations are very low. Triangle counts is not bad.
Yeah, the draw call is really low. So hearing 700 freaks me out. It's like
the triangle count. I can tell you that I have some areas where I'm pushing 200, and because my textures are very light and because I have very few draw calls, I can pull it off. But I add one material, that's it. The whole Quest collapse, and it starts kind of slowing down and things like that. So that million polygons, I don't know where they're taking it from, but
that's what I want to know too. Why? Because it was such a huge jump. Because when the Quest 2 first came out, that was not the number that they had on there.
Yeah, it was 150.
Yeah.
Our max,
it was super.
Our
low.
max that we're hitting in the demo is like 900,000. It's not great when it hits that.
900,000.
Yes. I mean, see, the problem that's going on, the shit I showed you guys today with the dungeon, how the software occlusion is not working. The game starts and then we're running at 25 frames per second with application space warp because it is rendering the entire goddamn dungeon, which is 780 draw calls and 1.2 million triangles.
But why can't you?
It's a problem. Software occlusion is just not working. It's so frustrating. I've been trying to solve it for 16 hours.
Robert, are you going to try to ship it on the Quest store?
Yeah, we're going to try to, yeah.
So one thing that you need to keep in mind is that you need a little bit of headspace because
a lot of
headspace because once you're going to QA it, there is going to be a phase that's called a destructive phase where they are going to and I have a story about that where they are going to kind of try to break your game, right? And so Stones of Harlath was running perfectly well.
I have 3 people in my office right now trying to break the game.
But wait. Let me finish my story.
Sure.
So Stones of Harlath, you were using your controller to kind of draw magic, right? And then when you were drawing the magic, it kind of leaves kind of a sparkly trail to kind of show you the figures you're trying to do, right? That way you can see the shape that you're drawing. During the destructive phase, the QA testers, they took their controller in front of their headset and they started waving it while drawing the magic, like that, right in front of the headset. Now, those magic effects are PNGs, so they are transparency. And so when you're drawing it at like arm's length and things like that, it represents about, I don't know, like 10%, 5% of your screen coverage. It's okay. It's fine. Now, when you're doing this in front of your headset there, suddenly it's covering the entire stuff. And with transparency, it renders it twice.
I mean, this is you're just talking about basic QA stuff, man. So you got to assume that the players are fucking idiots.
So they were basically no, I know, but what I'm saying is that from a game that was running perfectly well at 72 FPS, they were able to tank our performance to 40 FPS, and like that was a launch blocker. Now, for that case, we were able to kind of waive it, saying, well, this is kind of like not common player. So we reduced the amount of particles we are generated, and the rest we were like, okay, well, you know what, this is not typical player behavior, but like waterfalls, like they are going to put their heads where they shouldn't. And without having a little bit of leeway on performance, you may just be confronted with like launch blocker after launch blocker after launch blocker. So be careful about that too.
No, certainly, yeah. That's why we're not trying to launch anything with 700 draw calls, right? Like we're trying to do like 350 max. Like that's where we're kind of at. And like 500,000 triangles probably at the most there too.
That's wild. To me, that just sounds wild. I gotta play it. Gotta see it.
I guess you gotta see it. Like,
I kind of want to see it too. But the thing is that I got surprised. Like things that I felt, it's like, oh yeah, our performance is rock solid. Once you get in QA, it's like, yeah. I
mean, it depends. We definitely got to test it a lot. That's why, like, we were supposed to launch like a week ago at this point, or I guess last Tuesday, but we're not because of these performance issues. I don't know what the hell's going on with the occlusion software thing on Oculus right now.
I have a question.
So strange.
Do you need the whole level? I mean, the whole dungeon loaded at once?
No, that's what the software occlusion is supposed to do, dude.
But
it's supposed to stop rendering.
Why don't you just use level streaming or
why the hell would I use level streaming on one dungeon?
Why not? I don't understand.
because loading levels is for loading rooms, levels, not rooms.
No, but what you could do is potentially break down your dungeon into kind of sections, and when you're in a section, you're not loading the other sections.
I mean, we could do that manually anyway, but the entire point is we shouldn't have to do that.
What do you mean? No, that's not how. No. Dude, come on, dude. We use level streaming for NPCs. We have a whole level that's just for NPCs. We have a level that's just for triggers.
Yeah, we don't break things up like that. Everything is one large level, and then we use the occlusion system to actually not render things.
My game's hardcore broken up, dude. Like each room is like literally just a room. There's one place that has
there's zero reason to do that.
No, what do you mean?
The smaller the room is, the more you can put in it.
System, like you're doing extra setup work. If the software occlusion system works, you don't have to do any of that.
Well, all my stuff is physics too, so I gotta include all those physics too. I can't have all that crap loaded in.
That's
going
to
take up so much memory,
dude.
Well, I mean that's easy.
That could be what's going on. Maybe you're running out of memory. Maybe that's why your performance is.
We're not running out of memory. We're using 1 gigabyte of texture of memory. I know that for a fact.
Bro. For example, Stones of Harlath, like when things get in the fog, we actually like manually turn them off.
Yeah, we did that for Medieval Designer, but it's not necessary for Heartlands.
Not necessarily because it's not necessary. Not because it's not necessary.
But that gives you headroom for other stuff. Yeah, it gives you headroom for other stuff.
But using fog is lazy. Like if you have to use it, it's lazy.
It's not. It is not lazy. Holy shit.
Okay, hold on. Do you understand why? Do you understand why there's fog in the Heartlands demo? It has nothing to do with performance. It's literally just to show that we can do it, and it works.
What?
Dude, but like honestly, you could get away with like jacking up the fog and like just turning down like the draw distance.
Yes, but players think that's lazy.
It's what?
They do.
And honestly, I have so much fog.
Do you know how many fucking comments I have seen about people like, "Oh, the draw distance is super low."
You can only see like 5 feet in front of you, dude, and no one cares.
Yeah,
no one's been like,
yes, they do.
Only
I want
a lot of things in my game.
I should be able to stand at the very, very back of my city and see the other side of it.
So the thing is that today's topic is about optimization, and then we have one developer is like, "Fuck optimization."
Yeah,
My entire thing is optimization. Clearly, 500,000. What? I'm getting better performance than both of you. My whole thing is optimization.
no, that's not. Okay.
Okay, no. Okay, so if you're splitting up your levels, right? With like one's just for characters, one's for like physics objects or whatever, right?
Yes,
And you're using
so
level
that-
streaming to bring those in and out. That is extra work that you wouldn't have to do if you just allowed the software occlusion system to do its job.
What? That doesn't have anything to do with. There's no extra work. There's no extra work. It's also so that multiple people can work on the same like thing at the same time. Because obviously we're not in UE5 and they don't have object level whatever the fuck they call it now.
One file per level or actor or whatever it's called.
One file per actor. Like we have 3 devs working on the same level. I mean, and the same map.
We don't have that though. We have one person on a level at a time.
So but I'm saying we have that advantage where because we've broken it up, you can have people doing like all sorts of different stuff on different levels, and it's totally fine. And then
I mean that's a fair use case. Yeah, I don't think it would solve our performance problems.
But what I'm trying to tell you is it does not create overhead. It doesn't create extra work for you. It literally makes things more organized and more like cleaner to work with. Like you'll, I definitely think you should utilize it in the future. Next game.
No, the next game's gonna be very interesting because it's gonna be like we're gonna try to do full 4K textures and lighting. That's gonna be fun.
I feel like I'm the opposite of you guys. I'm like, dude, this is my last like game on this scale. Like all my other games are gonna be small ones after.
My next game is gonna be super simple. I'm doing a shooter after this because I've been making VR I've been making RPG shit for like a decade. Like I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I think Vehicular Rampage might be done before Samurai Slaughterhouse like at the same time because it's so much simpler. Like, and not only that, but I have it set up like. Well, the menus aren't set up for flat, but everything else is. So I can release a flat version too, and I have mobile controls too. So I can eventually release a mobile version too if I wanted. So like, so that game is so much more simpler than Samurai Slaughterhouse. So I think after Samurai comes out, which I mean I don't regret doing it because it's got so much traction, so much popularity. But I think after this, my games are going to be smaller on scale. Well, because I mean, if you think about it, because even if you're selling like it for $30, it takes more than twice as long as like making a $10 to $20 game. Like it's just like the amount of time more isn't. People are like, oh, it's $30. Like, why is it not 10, 20? I'm like, dude, I could have made a $10 or $20 game and been done with it by now. But
dude, I'm only making one game.
That's why I'm like on almost 2 years. Like, into it.
Yeah, that was my stance. It's like I'm trying to make a game every year, sell it for $10, and then move on to the next one, so that I don't get burnt out on the same project.
We're probably gonna end up launching Heartlands for like $30 or $40. I don't know. It's a giant project, but I definitely want to do more simple.
The time spent on it, like
I got to do something more simple.
I can't comprehend the size of your game. Like I just have to like.
Okay, I mean,
I just can't.
So, like, you mean like just the demo of it?
Well, no, I mean just like what I'm just saying is like it sounds like it's a lot of stuff. It sounds huge.
I mean, like there's 120 interiors.
I mean,
and they're all done. I mean, well, except they're done with the old art style. They got to be remastered. But yeah,
do you have all the enemies? Do you have all the quests? Do you have like a character that can progress? Like, I mean, like, is the game
all the skill, like the skill stuff, all works. The character generator we got working a few days ago with the new art. We had to rebuild it because of the new art, obviously. The quest system is fully functional. The entire point after demo version 2.0 for the next year of development is for us to just implement all the actual dungeons and quests and stuff.
Oh, so you still have like a year?
We're releasing 2023.
Because you keep saying like launch. I'm launching soon, and I'm like, what?
Launching demo. Yeah, the demo. Okay. Yeah, the entire point is just to show off the graphics of it and the world itself.
So
like, what I keep hearing about the game is like people are like, holy shit, this is like Skyrim in VR on the Quest. You're goddamn right it is.
There's no one competing with a free demo, or are you doing like a
the demo's
launch
free.
like me, where I'm like selling it?
Gated content, Justin. Why are you gating your content, bro? Why are you doing this?
Hey, it's labeled early access, clearly.
Clearly access.
Early access.
And damn.
I even put like a big old disclaimer. It's like it's early access, doesn't have as much content, and it's buggy. So buy at your own risk.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the whole point of our demo is like it's fucking feature complete basically. We just got to fill it out with content.
So it's okay. So yeah, I'll be able to go and like test out like combat and like all the.
Yeah, the combat's a little broken, but like all the actual other systems, alchemy, you can make like 1,000 different potions. The weapon repair and armor repair system work fully. You can loot basically everything in the dungeon. You can like go to the skeleton and he has like gold or an apple or a foot, whatever. You can take ingredients, mix them together, and make stuff.
Yeah, because I remember you saying that you didn't really like combat that much in VR, and that
I fucking hate combat's not working.
Have you ever thought about putting an alternative to like combat, like?
There is in the dungeon. Yeah, in the dungeon, in the tutorial quest, you have a choice of either avoiding the guards or you can confront them. There are 2 sets of guards, and they both have conversations going. Full facial animation and all that too. We got that working recently. Very nice. Oculus lip sync. Awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's cool.
Yeah, Oculus lip sync is awesome, man. Like we had to modify the C++ originally, but like this time it worked fine. I don't know. Yeah, we use the actual weights to drive facial morphs in real time. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like for the first level of the demo, the guy that's with you, he's like, we can confront those guys over there. Or we can go up the staircase and get the hell out of here. And you get to the top, and he's like, we can go down there. You look like you might be wounded. You can maybe make a potion. So it like introduces you to making potions, right? And then you leave down the other hallway, and he's like, wait a minute, there's guys up ahead. I hear them. And then you can hear them through the wall, like having a conversation about, the backstory of why, they found you and threw you in jail with this other guy and who this other guy might be, and there's like a little backstory there. And then when you're in that room after you defeat those guys, he's like, your weapons might be damaged. You should repair them. And there's like a whole thing. Or if you want to just skip all that shit and just run out of the dungeon to the end, you can.
That'll be my.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's what we've been doing because it takes a long time to get to the dungeon otherwise. There's like a rock fall, like particle effect thing going on. And then you get outside, like you get to the top and there's a guard. He's like, wait a minute, you don't look like a bandit. What are you doing here? And then he takes you back to town, and then you have the little cart ride that takes you from the island all the way up into the processing, like the clock tower. It's like the Census Nexus office. So, so in the final game, like when you get up to the actual office and into the building, they're going to ask you like what your class is based on how you played.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like the kind of shit we're doing, like it's
very
detailed,
Skyrim-like or very Oblivion-like. Wow.
Very much, very much.
I mean, typically
they have no competition, and they refuse to touch VR, so they can eat dicks.
There's not a lot of competition in that. If you click on the RPG tab in the Oculus Store, there's like 2 games or something.
Yeah, and there's zero competition for us. Like I was worried like a lot about Blade and Sorcery, and I'm sorry, I'm sure they're great devs, but that game just performs like a fucking ass. I hate it.
Is that on the...
I haven't tried it on the Quest.
Well, it depends.
Baby.
It depends.
On the PC,
it depends on what HAS you're talking about, because I've seen some HAS perform extremely well.
That's fair. Yeah.
And I'm talking about the donkeys, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of competition, and it's really a positive for us. I don't think that we're gonna have any competition anytime soon.
Wait. You may actually, because my next project is eerily similar.
Medieval. Cyril's coming. Cyril's
That's
coming.
Fine, but I got a head start on you, and by the time you're done with yours, I'll be on to making my Halo destroyer. Quite frankly, the entire point of this project is to give us what is basically an Elder Scrolls game in VR, because Bethesda will not touch VR like at all. They won't touch Oculus because they have a fucking beef because of John Carmack. They won't do it. And
really? I don't like John Carmack.
Yeah, he used to work with Bethesda, and there was this whole lawsuit a few years ago saying that he stole trade secrets and took them to Oculus or something like that. It's all nonsense. I mean, John Carmack is a trade secret. Look at that fucking guy. But yeah, like Microsoft won't touch VR, right? So like my favorite game is Oblivion. My second favorite game is like Halo.
Yeah, they will. Microsoft sent me the Reverb G2 not that long ago.
Show me their fucking Halo VR game. Show it to me. Go ahead.
You played it before I did. There's two of them. There's two Halo VR games. There's like the weird Target one.
Those are bullshit fucking games. Show me the actual fucking Halo VR game. The full
there's two. I'm not saying they're good or they're in depth or anything, but there's like the Target one that you played, and then
garbage. Absolute garbage.
And then at the Halo Destination Outpost, they had multiplayer Slayer. It was a location.
The biggest problem with VR today is the lack of in-depth games. And if Microsoft won't and Bethesda won't fucking touch it, I will destroy both of the products that I love in order to bring something amazing to the masses.
Destroy.
Not even take a dump all over him.
Bro.
Do what I got to do.
It's interesting how we kind of went from like game optimization to world domination.
Yeah.
My company will 100 dominate everything. I'm going to buy all of Justin in like 7 years.
Can I have a job? That sounds expensive, bro.
I know, but that's why I got to have 7 years.
My hourly rate is definitely.
Damn, dude. What? You charging people big dollars?
I got large plans, man.
For blood splatters? For the blood splatter
Yeah,
you
make good coffee. Believe it or not, a lot of doing that was just drawing blood splatters. Like I drew like 3
wow.
styles.
He's being paid by the gallon.
Yeah, he's paid by the gallon, dude.
$100 an hour to draw blood splatters. That was not bad.
Did you say $100 an hour to draw blood splatters? Holy shit!
Yeah, that's not crazy.
Dude,
my fucking artist on our team makes 18 an hour. Like what the 100? That's insane.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not all the time thing. It's a contract work.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. That's actually the standard rate. Like or like I said, in 2007 when I graduated, that was what the standard rate was. So I'm probably actually undercharging, unless like the recession or something, whatever. Hurt the rate, but that's supposedly.
Hey, I live in Cleveland. Stuff's cheap here. I'll do 15 an hour.
I suddenly have the strange urge of like drawing blood samples.
It's fun. Like I actually got a lot better at drawing it though from doing this last like contract work because I don't know. He went first. It was like too realistic. Then he's like, "Oh no, it's too cartoony." And then he's like, "Oh." And then he finally just showed me a picture of what he wanted. I'm like, "Okay, I'll just copy that."
Then. There you go.
But yeah, worked out.
So did we just have somebody like pop in behind PJ there? Because I saw another orb just kind of floating around, and everyone was seated at their proper spots, and they kind of snuck around for a bit and then vanished. Like,
Demo said his quest died.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah. Something that does funny things when your headset dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was loud to like plug in a charger.
I'm still at 59%. I accidentally left my Oculus the OVR metrics tool up when I started this, so I just left it on. Speaking of which, you're using GPU level 2. No wonder it looks weird in here.
What?
This thing is using GPU and CPU level 2. The lowest. Clubhouse. Well, it's the second lowest. So yeah. I mean, I guess it doesn't need it because all the low-res textures, but
I don't.
I still want to do like a weekend project of making a good version of this that doesn't use low-res textures.
That
sounds insulting. Sorry. Yeah. I hate low-res graphics because I'm not from 1987 like you guys.
You don't understand the nostalgia.
Sorry, guys.
You don't get a warm fuzzy feeling when you play Pixel Rift.
No, fuck that, man. I can't stand the old pixelated art.
Oh, I love Pixel Rift.
Yeah.
27 feels pretty good right now.
You best step off because I'm actually from like the 1987 era when I was just doing it all in text.
Go eat. Yeah, that sounds like a bad time.
Yeah, terrible. I think I get you all beat.
Yeah, I would figure as much.
You got to try NetHack, dude. I tell you, it'll change your mind on ASCII art games. That game didn't even have graphics. It just drew, letter characters, and it was still a good game.
I still kind of want to take the first game I really got sucked into was an old Infocom game called Wishbringer. It was just you type in "Go East, pick up box," that sort of thing. I would love to do it for VR, just to kind of visit it how I saw it in my head. Just
That'd
reading.
be pretty cool. It would be so different too that you could just call it a different name and no one would even notice. Make him an older game.
Did you ever had an Amiga? Did you ever had an Amiga 500 or?
Oh no! I had an old IBM PC AT clone that was made by AT&T or something ridiculous. Ran off of the 5-inch floppies.
So I played.
I started with the Nintendo 64. Jesus Christ, you guys are ancient.
My first share of
display colors besides shades of orange.
I played my fair share of text games, and then when the Amiga 500 came out, that was the computer that had the best graphics. There was a company that was called Cinemaware that made the most beautiful games, and they made a game that was called The Pawn. That was the bottom was still kind of the text descriptions, but then above it they had visual representations that were absolutely gorgeous. And The Pawn was a revelation of after spending 10 years playing text games, seeing them illustrated was, oh my god, I was floored. I think that's when I really I fell in love with video games before that, but I was oh my god, this is so great. The Amiga was a great machine.
I remember seeing the Amiga in a mall in Philadelphia way back in the late 80s, and they had the demo that was going of the figure juggling the chrome balls, and I was just blown away by such graphics were possible at that time. Because I was used to Atari 2600. The Intellivision was the big thing at that point.
Well, so the Amiga came right after that was at the same time as of the Atari 520 and Commodore, right after the Commodore 64 and the Amstrad in Europe. But it was
Amstrad,
basically
that's all. I haven't heard that term in a while. Amstrad.
Amstrad, well, that was my first computer was a ZX81. It was a Sinclair ZX81. It's Then I got a Commodore 64 and an Amstrad 464, and then a 128. Then I had an Atari and an Amiga, and then I moved to PC.
Pretty much the same. I think my first was an Atari 800, and
I love how they look. I actually almost bought one on eBay recently because I just love that kind of. They have a name for that. It's called cassette futurism.
Yes,
which I think is a great term.
And honestly, I would love to case mod it and just put in a modern motherboard and just have a full modern system. Would look amazing.
That thing looks fucking gorgeous. It's a beautiful computer.
Oh, it certainly was, and it was one of those things that you look back at the style at the time, and the old Intellivision, the old ColecoVision. They just had a completely different design aesthetic about them. Even the Sinclair.
Did you add the Commodore Pet, the PET?
No, I wanted one. I definitely
it had
wanted
basically that kind of the monitor and the CPU were in one big unit that looked like a fucking pyramid. That thing was wild.
It was gorgeous. That kind of whole retro thing. I'm sure at some point people are gonna want to do retro computers just to have the cachet, the look, the feel of it.
There is a game on Steam that is coming out that I really had my sights on. That's called Invincible. That is kind of a Mars exploration game that is based on a novel, I think, by Lem. And they are completely embracing that kind of retro futurism aesthetic. And it's something that I find absolutely inspiring.
I'm sure you played Alien Isolation and that whole futurism there.
Yes, Alien Isolation is. Visually, it belongs to kind of some of my favorite games. Really they just nailed the aesthetic, right? It's they nailed it. They nailed the lighting, they nailed the mood, they nailed everything. And the gameplay is the whole survival aspect, I'm a little bit. I'm not subtle enough for it. Just like give me a big gun. Can I shoot stuff? So it forces me to be a little too slow for my taste. But aside that, though, everything else is absolutely masterclass.
I actually downloaded the mod to get rid of the alien and just put it in VR and wandered around looking.
Oh shit! I need that.
Yeah, it's amazing because like when you're seeing the cigarette smoke come up in VR and you're like, holy shit, this is good.
Yeah, no, it smells like a dirty ashtray.
Yeah, it looked like a real dirty ashtray, and you're just looking around like your jaws on the floor because this is so well done and it works in VR. And it's like, why can't we have this with every game?
Yeah.
Because budgets.
No.
No one buys PC VR games.
That too.
Yeah, I think Sons of Harlath we may have sold, I don't know, 60 copies of the PC VR, and we are like a shit ton more on Quest. Yeah, PC VR. I think I'm not even sure I will have a PC VR version of Shock Troops.
Really?
I'm not even sure that that's worth it.
Huh.
I feel so vindicated. Like I said when the Quest 1 came out, I'm pretty sure that it was going to destroy PCVR and like you'd have to be crazy to develop for PCVR, and no one fucking listened to me. I feel so vindicated.
No, I mean, it's seriously, like, I mean, the Quest, like, I mean, we will reach soon 20,000 copies sold on the Quest, and 50, 60 on PC. I mean, it's just like, I mean, yeah, it's absolutely like, and I may do a PC version because I have one. It's done, actually. I've used it like for the trailer to kind of capture like the content at the right format and things like that. But like when we went on Steam, like we had a lot of people complaining that we were not on the Vive and Rift, and we are using the Oculus SDK, and we just don't have the Vive or the Index. But at that point, it's like it's spending a whole bunch of time and testing it, making sure that everything works. To make what, $100, $200? I mean,
yeah, say for the 3 people that are gonna play it, like with the headsets.
It's not worth it at all. I mean, I'm sorry for the people that bought something and they are kind of struggling to find games, but like at the end of the day, though, it's like we gotta like. I mean, we gotta monetize our work, and on Quest we can do okay. On PC VR, the thing with the Quest development is that it's easy to make a Rift version. It's basically kind of a flip of a switch at that point. But for Vive and for Index, there is a lot more testing and a lot more tweaking that needs to happen. And at that point, I'm not sure it's worth it.
Yeah, on Samurai, like the SDK, I'm using this thing called Hurricane VR, so it does all that. Like basically for you, so that's why I don't mind it there. But yeah, my car game, I made all the controls myself manually, and that actually probably won't be too hard because the only thing that you use the triggers for like gas and brake, just like you use like a gamepad, and the only thing that's actual like kind of VR is you press like a button to turn your finger on and off, so you can push like the virtual button. So I know like some of the other headsets are probably the hand's gonna be at a weird angle, but you know, they can deal with that. Because like that's the thing, even just like the controller offsets is like a pain in the ass. I mean, even with the thing I have that supposedly handles it, like just between people using virtual desktop and people using Oculus Link, like the hand angle is different. So I had to adjust the hand angle for Oculus Link because it was like 90 degrees off, even though it was right if you use a virtual desktop. It was weird.
Yeah, people don't realize. They're like, oh, it's easy. And it's like, no, it's not, and it has to be somewhat profitable. I mean, yeah,
it's not easy if you want to do a good job. Like it's easy to do like a crap version.
And then people complain. It's like, oh well, it's. So I think, I think I'm.
Why are my hands like the raw facing the wrong way? It's like, well, because you're using a weird headset that no one uses.
Oh, I do have an announcement though. There will be next month, most likely, an update for Stones of Harlath. We are natively integrating B-haptics. For those of you that are And they were super happy with it. Like Simeon did a bang up job. Like when you drink a potion, for example, it kind of rumble on your stomach, so it kind of like swirl, like the points of contact kind of swirl around and things like that. And when you cast magic, it comes from your chest, and it kind of builds from your chest up, and then it goes in your hands and kind of like. So yeah, I mean, we have the PC build that they tested, and they were happy with it. And next week we are going to try to make a quest build and make sure that it doesn't cause any performance problem. But then after that, we'll release it.
That's awesome. I just use the default like patterns. So easy.
I'm so annoyed
like, how
by
many people really have this B-Haptics Fest? Like I don't know.
I'm glad they sent me one.
Do,
like it was nice, but like I can't get their SDK to work at all. I've been trying for months. Like Unreal just says no.
Like
are you on Unreal or are you on Unity?
One line of code, you're just like, trigger haptic and then it goes. So
yeah,
like,
exactly. Like in Unreal, it's one blueprint node. It's like submit feedback, but then it claims that the plugin doesn't exist. I don't know. I've talked to their support. I've gone back and forth with them. They have no idea what the problem is, and I've like rebuilt the engine. It doesn't work. I think it's something to do with the fact that I'm using the Oculus branch, but I'm not going to not use the Oculus branch to have B-Haptics.
Yeah, I can't help you. We work with Unity, and it's Simeon that did the integration, so I was not part of it at all.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty easy. Like their SDK is pretty like good.
It's so frustrating. I wish it worked because like we design patterns for like drinking potions and casting spells and getting hit with swords. We designed it for everything, but yeah, it doesn't work. Everything, even to like opening menus and stuff. Like it's like opening a pouch on your hip or something like that because of how our inventory system works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for mine, I just put it like when the player gets hit, depending on like what kind of strike the enemy did, it had a certain like pattern. So if like it was like an overhead swing, it would come from like top to bottom, and then if it hit them in the head, it would trigger like the face haptic thing.
Yeah, we didn't do anything intense for combat really. I hate combat in VR so much; it just feels bad.
You should replace your combat
if I had it my way,
dice-based combat or something.
If I had it my way, I wouldn't have combat in my game at all. But I know players like combat, so
have them play cards instead. Oh, that would be so combat. Like a card game.
The entire point of the game is really exploration, man. I don't want to go into a dungeon and fight shit. I just want to go into a dungeon and find some cool shit.
How about a dance off?
That's pretty good. Yeah, we could do that.
I don't know, or just make your whole combat system like a rhythm game, and like the better you do, like you actually just see your character fight them. They're like, bah, 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 bah. And then like if you don't hit the rhythm right, then like your character gets killed. That'd be fun. I feel like there's so much stuff you could do, like besides just regular combat. Like if you really wanted to get away from it, like
I don't know.
Dude, let me tell you, dude, physics-based combat, like for VR, it's a pain in the ass. Like,
physics-based combat is just absolute garbage. I will never design physics-based combat until we can actually restrain player movement. It feels terrible.
I disagree.
Our combat is very basic.
For that matter,
it doesn't though.
If I pull something and like my hand's not moving, I feel like it's generally hard to pull out. Like if I hit something and my hand stops, I feel like I'm stopping. But
yeah, I don't get the same experience,
dude. It's so complicated.
It just feels like it's laggy. Okay, like it's so frustrating to me. We spent how many years and how many like millions of dollars like as companies figuring out how to get everything tracked properly and work, but then stupid physics VR combat comes along and we disconnect players' physical hands from their in-game hands. It is the stupidest shit.
I don't know. The brain tells them the in-game hand is the real hand. Like seeing is believing.
It's so bad. I hate it.
Like, there's people with amputated arms and they just put like a mirror there and like just from them seeing another hand, they think they have an extra hand. Like your brain fills it in.
It doesn't for me at all.
But to that matter, you were saying a thing that I think is kind of interesting. You were saying if you had it your way, you would not have combat. I would say that like if you were able to pull off an RPG that is interesting, that doesn't really use any combat, where you basically it's all kind of like dialogue based or like exchange based or like triggering some traps and things like that, I think you would actually have a product that would be discriminating, like that would be like that would stand out. So I mean, if you don't like it, I would say like design around this.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like my business partner said something similar. He was like, "What if we just don't do combat?" I was like, I mean, we could, but then that kind of like gets rid of the entire like skills-based nature of the game, you know?
But what about
Like you have to like
traps?
use a sword to get better at a sword.
No,
Like,
but
and we have traps. We have
then
traps.
maybe the whole game is about kind of like building different types of traps and kind of like coercing the AI to kind of walk into them, or I don't know.
I mean, we have
again,
some
like,
stuff like that. Like we have it designed where like you could have an NPC walk through an area like chasing you and then get like killed by poison darts or some shit like that. But
yeah, or stack crates, for example, and then like remove them so that they collapse. Yeah, so there is a whole bunch of stuff you could do. I mean, again, like to me, I don't mind combat. Like, I mean, I made Stones of Harlath where there is a whole bunch of like maces and axes and swords and things like that, and I'm making a shooter, so I don't have any problem with violence. But
like,
I would
combat's
say
a different thing entirely, right? Like, or like shooting games. Like our next game is going to be it's Halo and fucking VR basically. So like, and that includes like melee, right? But I don't know, like sword and shield combat, as much as I love it in other games or I tolerate it, it doesn't feel good in VR. We can't restrain the player's arms. Like Microsoft figured this out like 15 years ago with the Kinect. Like Fable the Journey exists as a magic-based game because they knew that if you swung your hand as if it was a sword and you didn't connect with anything, it feels like garbage. They knew that back then, and people have just thrown that to the wind. I blame Blade and Sorcery.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or Boneworks. Fucking Boneworks. Fuck that game. I'm sure they're great developers. I don't mean anything to them. I'm sorry, but no. Fuck your physics.
Oh, on that
I don't mean anything to the developers. I'm sure they're great developers.
I don't play that game.
You're going to get a whole bunch of unfollows today.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I actually got reeled in by my business partner. He was like, "Hey, you got to calm down on Twitter, man."
I do have to call it quits here, gentlemen. I've got a few things to attend to, but I just want to thank you again. You know, seeing where y'all are at with your stuff just makes me realize that I got to up my game. You're a constant inspiration. And obviously, I've got some new stuff to check out because, Cyril, I didn't even know your game existed. So I'm going to be definitely checking you out tonight. And obviously, as always, I can't wait for the next time. So
Thanks.
Come on back whenever, I'm sure.
Say good night.
See you, Thomas. Good luck with all your real life happenings.
May he get your appliances going.
Well, for one, I'm glad you're making Halo in VR.
Yeah, you'll be the first beta tester. You know it.
Woo! I almost want to make a Halo fan game just for like my Patreon. Because I found on Sketchfab you can actually download like most of the levels from Halo CE. Like, so I started saving a bunch of assets. I'm like, maybe one day I'll have time to slap this together into like a crappy quick fan project.
We threw some stuff together. Like, what I really want to do is I kind of want to make it a graphical showcase because, like, people really, it annoys me how much people think that all graphics on the Quest have to be like fucking PS2 or Xbox, like the original Xbox, when they really don't. Like, you can have 4K textures on the Quest and it'll run fine.
Yeah. Going back to Heartlands, I think, what Cyril was kind of saying and what I think would be neat to give players the options. If you had a class that was non-combat, like, I don't want to say like maybe like a minstrel or something, and you got to sing into the microphone. Be a bard,
dude. Just like the guy's pissed off, you just play a song, calm him down.
Yeah, maybe.
I think there'd be a cool way to do it.
We are gonna have playable pianos in the game, but that's it.
Cool. That's great.
Yeah, I mean we have an asset for it, so I figure we might as well use it.
I didn't know you got like notes here. That's cool.
Cool.
Actually, I kind of like the idea of like, you have that story of like the dude that like played the flute and kind of like led all the rats to kind of like their demise, and kind of like the idea of having a class where you basically like play a banjo or something like that, and then depending on the notes that you're playing, the enemies are like going. I don't know, like there is something there.
Yeah, like there's a way around combat like that. I mean, I guess I should talk to my business partner and my other programmer about it, but it just seems like the kind of thing that would make it very hard to design quests for later on.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously there is a learning curve for the players because that's the thing. And to me, the thing about combat, like that was the big thing on like Stones of Harlath, like drawing the spells. It takes some time, and people need to kind of remember them and things like that.
Yeah,
and that's what I was so excited to go in Shock Troops. Is like you put a gun in the hands of people, they know exactly what to do.
Yeah, they know.
So we
they
don't
know
need
what
to
to do.
teach. Yeah, we don't need to teach them anything. So we can kind of like move on way faster with the gameplay than we did. Like, so Stones of Harlath, we had to build a whole onboarding quest, take you to the magic shop, like have you cast your first spell, make sure that you know how to do it, etc., etc. So Shock Troops was a little bit refreshing on how instantaneous like people get it. The next game that we'll be working on is going to be sporty because there is a lot of systems that we are talking about, and very similar to what you were mentioning, different setup, but very similar. And that's the problem. Like when you allow players to do a lot of different things, that means that you also have a lot of systems that need to catch them up when they don't do the correct things.
Yeah. There's a lot of interaction you can get that's unintended.
Yeah.
We found out like we had a bug early on where you could add like a sword into a potion. And it would still create a potion for some reason. It would just not have any effects.
You can even make all your combat ranged if you wanted to make it a shooter. Just have wands, and then when you get swords, like the swords just shoot lasers out of them, like in Zelda.
I mean, like, I don't know. We thought about doing magic only, but it doesn't seem like it would feel good either.
Yeah.
Also, particle effects are expensive on quests, so I wouldn't want to do half-assed magic.
Let's make a hobbit class that throw rocks and has like a slingshot or something.
No, we already have our goblins with their unfortunately accurate anatomy.
Don't bring those up again.
Open up a model program. Just delete those extra polygons out of it.
I hired an artist, and her first task was to delete goblin pussy. So
But your milk goblins didn't come with dongs, huh? That's like odd.
It's weird, right? I think I know what these models were used for.
Like you think if they include one, they include the other. Like
you would think so, but no. Kind of glad they didn't. I didn't want to see.
It wasn't even. It's not even just like a texture. It's not even just like a bush or something. It's like a whole like modeled like 3-dimensional like detail.
Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah.
That's funny. Well, I'm probably gonna get going too.
Yeah, I got to get back to work and figure out why the fuck the software occlusion is not working. So. It's working in the city, but not in the dungeon. It's so frustrating. I don't know.
I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Hopefully. Bath with the toaster. We'll find out.
No, don't do that.
Thanks for having us.
It's nice meeting you, Cyril.
Mm-hmm. It's great to.
Definitely a big fan of your work. Love your art style. Can't wait for Shock Troopers.
Thanks.
Nice to see you again, if you can call that, with our tic tac hands.
We should at least try to find like different colors, like so that I know when I'm talking to the red ball or to the yellow ball or to the blue ball.
Yeah, I thought Justin was sitting like right here to my right the whole time. Apparently he wasn't.
I know. I normally sit here.
Yeah, I usually sit where Cyril's sitting. So.
I think Thomas spawned in. He was like sitting on my lap, so that's why I moved over here.
I don't know. Why don't you have like at least maybe like the Ready Player Me avatars in here?
Well,
like so they gotta have an SDK, right?
We're trying to get off Normcore, and so I've kind of talked to those guys, and we're having another guy look at helping us move and stuff, and then where we can add multiplayer, so they're syncing, and so the videos sync for everyone, and you can pick up things and all that. So it's just Wookie's been really busy with work and stuff, and I don't know how to do anything. So
right.
You should just buy like a multiplayer template that Tefik makes. Like, you probably just buy that and then just drag this model in there, and it would work. I wouldn't be surprised.
Probably, yeah.
I think it's like $15.
All right, well, this has been great, guys. I gotta get back to work.
Have a good one, guys. See you around.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for having us. I'm going to get going too. See you guys.